Today's tip is going to be about that little ring inside my hemostats. These are tippet rings. Tippet rings are awesome. When you get old like me and you can't see very good, tippet rings help you out with your knot tying. If you're fishing in the bottom of water and you're losing a bunch of your flies and you're getting snagged up, tippet rings are going to keep you from wasting your leader, and it's going to just help you out a lot. So I'm going to show you guys how I use them, what I use them for, and how I think they can help you. So when you get your fly line on, your fly line has usually got a loop on the end. When you buy your leaders like this, they're going to come up with a loop. So you can loop to loop connect them. I've showed you how to do knotless loops. You can, however you need to connect it, you can get that connected. And then you take your leader and you can feel your leader taper down. And when it starts to get down to that very thin spot that is the size of where the actual tippet is, cut it. When you cut that in, you're going to tie your little tippet ring in. When you tie that tippet ring in, now you can tie your length of tippet to that knot. And I just use a cinch knot just like I'm tying onto my fly. So you can take that length of tippet and tie it in to that tippet ring. So say you're in the water and you get snagged up and you break off, it's going to break right on that tippet ring every time, or below it. You're not going to lose the top part, and you're not going to have a whole bunch of knots back to back in your tippet where you have to replace your leader. All you're ever going to have to replace is the bottom part of your tippet. That's it. So say you're fly tying and you're tying a bunch of flies that you want to go out and you want to dry fly fish, and you're going out to fish. You get out there on the water and you get some spooky fish who've been fished a lot. Regular mono or nylon tippet is going to sit on top of the water. So what I do is I get fluorocarbon tippet, and I like this Rio brand. So I get this tippet here, and it doesn't sit on top of the water. It sits right in the surface of the water, and it just drops down just right below the surface, so it doesn't leave the ripple on the water that the fish see as much. So if I'm fishing a dry fly, I'm going to take that fly that I worked so hard on, I'm going to gel it up. I'm going to make sure that it floats real good. I'm going to have it tied onto my line, and I'm going to get ready for casting. And when I do, this part of my tippet is now fluorocarbon, so it's going to reduce the water imprint. My mono line, nylon line, whatever kind of tippet that you're, or leader that you're using, I'm going to gel it up a little ways too, so it floats and it'll help keep that fly floating. So this is going to be floating. My string is going to sit down just below the water, and my fly is going to be floating. So there's that much space between the fly and the line that the fish is going to see to keep them from being spooked. Works way better. Guys, this is easy. If you're out on the water and you're having a hard time seeing, tying that surgeon's knot to get two pieces of 7X tippet together is kind of hard on your eyes sometimes. You can take your hemostats, you can hook it right on top of that little circle, come in there, tie your cinch knot, have it hooked up and go. It's easy, it's fast. It's not for everybody, and I know there's a lot of guys that say just learn to tie knots. I can tie knots. This works for me. It's handier. I fished for 2 solid days this weekend, lost a lot of flies in the bottom, fishing down on the bottom for brown trout, and I broke off several times, and I never had to replace my leader. I just replaced my tippet every time. Simple fix. It's easy, and it works for a lot of people. It may not be for everybody, but I'm telling you guys, if you're hard at seeing or if you're losing a lot of flies on the bottom, you ought to try it. It works good. So I hope this helps. We'll see you in the next video.